Good evening and welcome to Maison Journals. It's day 86 in the big French house and I moved here from London to rural France. Here is a short timeline of events. I hope you enjoy and thank you for watching. So it's Tuesday the 8th of May and I'm all packed up, ready and waiting for the removals to arrive. They was due to arrive at 9 o'clock, but they didn't arrive till 1. However, it didn't take them long to pack up and they was all done by 4 o'clock. I have to say they were very good. I needed 2 of these lorries and I would absolutely recommend Plume. They did a fantastic job. And there was just 15 boxes left. It's now 2 o'clock Wednesday morning. Arthur and Minnie have had their medication. However, Arthur sitting on the sofa has been sick, so his medication to calm him down will not work. And we can see here at the Eurotunnel, Arthur is frisky and Minnie is very relaxed and can barely stand up. And around 5 a.m. on the Wednesday morning, I boarded the Eurotunnel for the new adventure in France. I must recommend Eurotunnel. They are quick, efficient, really good value for money, and 35 minutes later you are in France. An amazing service. So arrived in France at 7 o'clock and it was freezing and the house had quite a few bugs. I had some trees cut down in the forest about 18 months ago simply because they were diseased and it was starting to spread. It was just too dark and too damp in there. So these were chopped down just to enable some light to come into the forest. And the results are amazing. So many wildflowers and bird life. The cellar currently didn't have a door to it, so it was just completely open and it was getting quite a lot of frogs coming up the stairs. So I've had a door made for the cellar. So I had to clean out the floor. There's a lot of sand and silt and grit. This door's now been hung. I've given it 3 or 4 coats of yacht varnish. It will probably expand because of the moisture, but it is what it is, and the options are quite limited. This is where fancy people will keep wine, but I will probably keep Diet Coke. And there is Arthur. So a good clean out of the cellar. With the new door hung and in place. We've got lights down there as well. The walls leading down to the cellar have a waterproof membrane and they have been clad. So the cellar has now been dealt with and I'm really happy with that. It's completely sealed off now, but I have got access to it as well. It's Saturday morning and obviously I'm in the car. I heard lots of things about getting parcels delivered is really quite difficult, and so I did my first Amazon order on Monday. It was delivered to the house on Wednesday. Unfortunately I wasn't in, so they delivered it to the local shop. So I've been into the village this morning and picked up my parcel. So the system works. If you're not in, they take it to the local shop, which is fantastic. And just 5 days after ordering, amazing. And I've popped to the boulangerie, which is opposite, which is a must. and to the organic shop to get some raspberries. So I'm off back home to carry on cleaning and painting. Whatever you want to call it, it's a must in rural France. I was currently using 4G, data from my phone. I went to the orange shop in Gouret. Wasn't looking forward to this, but I have to say they were amazing. The manager of the shop was English. He arranged everything, reasonably priced, I think €28 a month. Also got a free mobile phone SIM. And 5 days later, Mr. Orange Man turned up, spent 3 or 4 hours at the house, and in the middle of rural France, I've got fibre, which is amazing. So normal service is resumed. Shutters, I think we've got 18 windows. Some of them have got wooden shutters, some are metal, and they have not been worked on for many years. So I spent 3 days sanding this down and painting it. One of the first jobs that I wanted to do when I first saw this house 3 years ago was paint the gates, but there was more pressing issues, so I've actually only just got round to preparing the gates for painting. The preparation has taken 2 days, but because of the rain, the extreme heat, I actually still haven't been able to paint the gates, but they are ready for painting. I just need to get the right temperature and they will be completed, but they are all ready to go. These are the steps that lead down to the back door. However, they're completely overgrown. So I spent 2 days cleaning them, and then I had to get some gravel. So I went off to the quarry to order the gravel. There was a selection to choose from. So I made my choice and was assured that the lorry delivering the 6 tonnes would fit through the gate. However, when it arrived, lots of huffing and puffing, it didn't. So the 6 tonne of gravel had to be delivered outside the gate. So 6 tonne of gravel, although it probably doesn't look a huge amount here, is a huge amount. And it took me almost 100 barrels, and each barrel is 12 spades, shovel spades. So yes, 100 barrels of gravel taken through the gates and down to the pathway. So just a before picture, you can see the stairs or the previous gravel, and after. Really, really pleased with this. I just need to keep on top of the weeds. The scaffolding is still here because there's some final painting to do, but it just adds a bit of order, and I am really, really pleased with this. I came out with 2 dogs. Arthur has a pet passport, but Minnie here does not have a pet passport. So I took her to the local vet and for €30 arranged her new pet passport. She looks completely underwhelmed by the fact that she has her own passport, but a really great service. Sadly, 3 days after getting her pet passport, Minnie passed away in France. She was 17 years old, and it was incredibly sad, but I'm so glad that she did make it here. So now Arthur is left on his own. Arthur the Border Terrier, he was incredibly upset, and he had to call his girlfriend in London and tell her the news. However, it wasn't long before we was back at the vets again. There was some wild boar in the garden. Arthur chased them, went missing for an hour, came back limping and broke his cruciate ligament. The heating system is now up and running. I have a wood burning stove with a back boiler, so this will fuel the heating system. We have a good supply of wood from the forest, and we inherited some when we bought the house. This is linked to 12 cast iron radiators, so hopefully in the winter it will be warm. Just to look back on the kitchen, this is back in 2021, when I naively thought it just needed a coat of paint. All the ceilings had to come down, the joists were rotting. I took the wall down between the kitchen and the dining room just to open it up a little bit. I didn't want a fitted kitchen. I wanted a freestanding kitchen like this. This is not my kitchen. This is a Devol kitchen. So I'd been collecting freestanding items over the last sort of year or so that I could use, paint and use in the kitchen. This is one here. So once the furniture was ready, I had to paint the kitchen. This is one of the outside walls. It did have some damp because the gutters were leaking, but the gutters have been replaced and the damp has been treated. So I then painted the kitchen. All of the internal doors are thick with gloss paint and sticky back plastic. So each door takes 2 or 3 days to refurbish. But nevertheless, the doors are worth keeping because they are very nice. So this is the kitchen before and now. Which I am really pleased with. As I said, I didn't want a fitted kitchen because of potential rodents and stuff like that. And it's just easy to clean and just keep on top of. I am looking for an island similar to this one to go in the middle. That's the summer kitchen down the corridor, and this is the wall that I've taken down that leads into the dining room. This sofa was kindly gifted to me by a neighbour, which was really kind, and they even delivered it to me. And this is going into the dining room and looking back into the kitchen. So brocants, France, famous for their wonderful brocants. There seems to be an awful lot of this. I hope the picture pops up. And not much of this. However, I went to a brocante this weekend and I got a few bits. This is the first bit. It has a little strike on top, enamel to put your matches in. And that was €3. Really nice. The next thing might not be everyone's cup of tea, but in my defence, I did not kill it. And I collect these anyway. This beautiful shawl, lined, perfect condition, and I collect these anyway. There was a whole box of these for €20, 5 or 6 of them in the box, but I didn't want 5 or 6 for €20. So I bought just the one for €10. So that is the most successful brocante that I've been to, but I haven't really had time to go out. So that was successful this weekend.